You're tuning in to Past Our Prime, a show powered by Squad Locker.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Here are your hosts, retired Astros minor league star Tip Fairchild and former Patriots All-Pro center Dan Copen.
Go rock this thing, huh?
That's the question.
Boy, can we get to triple digits?
I think we should. Yeah. I mean, you're
We're going to get to triple digits.
you are Queens Boulevard, right? We can do that.
Oh, yeah. I'll put my foot down on a couple things.
All right. 82. We're at 82, people.
The quest to 100.
Past our prime. I mean, he's Tip. I'm Dan. Powered by Squad Locker, as always.
Do us a favor, everybody. We asked this last time. Hit the Instagram at Past Our Prime Show. Give it a follow. Follow the newsletter. How do they find that, Max? It's in the flow code?
Yep, it's in the flow code.
Go to Instagram. You'll see it right there. There's a link.
We have Tyler Tatge.
Yes.
On with us today. He is out of STEM Fuse, which is an educational, curriculum-based, but a lot of e-gaming.
We learned a lot. You and I learned a lot because this isn't our space. This isn't our forte.
No.
You and I are, what'd you call it? I was going to say contact athletes, but that's not my sport. That's yours. What is it? What am I trying to say? Not contact, but like
Outside?
core four. You know what I mean? Like
mainstream?
Yeah, mainstream. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw soccer in there.
No, that's a close five. Soccer's on like crazy on network TV now.
It's very popular.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Like in the morning Premier
Always
League
on.
and everything? Yeah.
I refuse to watch it.
I haven't watched 10
I
seconds.
have no want to watch it. But,
by the way,
but some people do, and that's fine. I don't care.
Nothing to the. Let's do this. Nothing against the.
Does it
soccer.
seem like they play all the time? Like they have no off season.
I don't think they have.
Right,
and then they play on different teams.
Like there's championships 4 times a month.
Yes.
And then there's like, okay, and now they're on another team or they're going somewhere else, and then there's another championship next month. I don't get it.
The only reason I know that is from Ted Lasso. Like they play like these seasons and
what a show.
Yeah, when's season 3 coming out? Is there one? Do we know?
Coming out, yes.
Oh,
well, you know what's coming out?
Outer Banks.
Yellowstone in November.
See, I haven't watched one episode of that.
Oh my God!
I know you keep telling me.
Why would you not do that?
I'm gonna have to do that.
Let
me tell you why. Because I have so much.
No. We'll get there. I know what you want to talk about right now, but Pats. Mac Jones.
Ooh, trouble. I know that's.
And you're a big Mac Jones guy, right?
I am. I texted you right away, or I think I called you. And said,
at least you weren't crying this time.
I know. Well, if 12 went down like that, a tough day in the house. The type of fall that was either two things. He either broke, what's a small bone in the back of your leg? Fibula? Tibula is the big one, right?
Tibula is a big one. Tibia?
Or tibula?
Fibula.
Fibula.
Tibia, fibula.
Yeah.
And it's the non-weight bearing bone, if you would like to get really technical about it.
Right. And that felt like it was a break of that bone, the way that fall was.
I'm sure it was.
Or it was a super high ankle sprain, which is supposedly worse than that.
Correct.
Because a high ankle sprain like that can last like years for just, the way you feel on your feet.
Well, I've had the surgery.
Oh, have you?
The tightrope. We're gonna.
Let's see it. Put it up here. Let's see this thing. What do you got? Oh yeah, I've seen those knots on your ankle before.
Little.
Two little.
Nice little calf shot. The calf shot there. Too.
Check out those tanned legs.
Couple little chestnuts.
Couple little anchors in there.
Yeah. That's what that is?
That's a tightrope surgery.
Okay.
So I
got a lot of freckles on that.
A lot of freckles.
I just noticed that.
A lot of freckles on the body.
Huh. Okay.
More so on the arms and legs.
The legs.
The sun brings them out, especially in the summer.
Makes them pop. Makes them pop.
I don't know what pigment's going on in there, but it's kind of...
Oh, and I also saw, Dan sent a text to Gary, the CEO, and myself. We were going back and forth on something, I can't remember. And then there's a link that shows up in the text message, and it's Dan's 25th anniversary for your state championship?
Not
state championship?
District.
Oh, God.
Well, it's kind of,
I have so many district championships. You can't even write them on that board.
The district championship in Pennsylvania is kind of like the state championship in Rhode Island. Let's just be fair.
All right. We'll give it that. It did seem like a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Big fans. I will tell you, Max, we got to get this. I'll send you the clip. This guy beside me over here is a man amongst boys in high school. You were bigger then than you are now.
Yes, I was.
And you also wore those just
The cowboy
absolutely
collar.
obnoxious shoulder pads.
No, everybody had the big shoulder pads back then.
Wow.
It didn't really matter. They were all
You
big.
looked gigantic. So I see him
How about
come
the
out.
highlights?
Do we
though?
have
How about the-
Hang on. So
How
he
about
comes
the
out.
highlights?
He comes out. Everybody listening here, you're gonna have to go to the Instagram page because we're gonna put it up today. And today meaning Thursday, but also today meaning Tuesday. Right now, it has to go up, Max. When Dan comes out to shake hands, first of all, he's towering over the refs, over everybody. The first highlight that I really see, I see, quarterback. By the way, the quarterback threw a good ball.
Yeah.
Did he play somewhere after?
I don't think he did.
No, he's good. Looked like a good player.
But he could. Hudak, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Hudak. Great quarterback.
Shout out to Chris Hudak.
Great. Threw a great ball.
Great. The first highlight, I was like, wow, this is a good
Oh, it was a
quarterback.
legit football.
Right. So then next play, I'm looking, they're on the goal line, going in. Who do they hand the ball off to? Number 77, Refrigerator Copen over here.
Yeah, you know what that package was called?
The Copen?
No,
Like the sledgehammer?
The Fatso package.
What's it called?
Because there was a guy before that had that role.
Yep.
And it was a coveted role, and they
Fatso
called it
pack.
Fatso. So
Tell you what.
sophomore year, I had the Fatso. Sophomore year, I was scoring, from the short yardage.
I can tell you this.
I've got a 23-yard run somewhere in there.
I
Broke
feel like
through
if-
the line. I
if
got
you
caught
get-
from behind.
Wow.
But,
Any speed behind you, stopping you at a high school age.
well, the guy had to run, catch me, and then jump on my back. I couldn't carry him 40 yards.
Friend of the program, Ryan Reed, and then also one of his best buddies, John Presby, also a listener, also a primer. They were two of the most savage linebackers I've seen in high school. Like painted face, like absolutely laid booms and laughed about it after if they hurt people. They wouldn't stop you on that goal. No,
that was.
And boys, I love you guys, but when you see this clip, you try to stop 77, you get off the tracks when the train's coming through. Toot toot.
That was good. Yeah, that was 25-year reunion that they celebrated that team. I didn't make it, but a lot of guys went back. I heard it was a great time.
It's a cool highlight clip. I loved.
Yeah, the guy
watching
did
that.
a great
I laughed.
job
I
of
was
putting
like,
it together.
Jesus, this is funny.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, we'll post, we'll put up a little clip of that. We'll feed that one.
So, just quickly,
Yes,
it's all about you now.
we're to me now.
Yeah, I feel
Well,
like
Pats though 1 and 2.
I'm back. I mean,
We're going to Hoyer. You
got-
made a really good comment. This is like first level stuff that you said. They're going to Hoyer, and they might go back to the old offense, which never know. Maybe that's because he understands it, right?
yeah, I would think. I mean,
That seems dangerous.
Yeah, but then the problem is the receiver, like Parker.
They don't know.
Hey, what do you have? 5 catches,
He looked
150
good.
yards. He looked great.
Yeah.
Actually, the offense looked pretty good for 2.5 quarters.
You mentioned it. The 4 drives at the end of the game. Well, not necessarily the end of the 4 drives at the end of the
I
game.
think they turned it over the last 4 drives.
And I thought they might actually command the end of that game.
Yeah.
Look good.
Isn't it? It's the difference, right? We talk about winning is a habit, losing's a habit.
Yeah, they lost that
Look,
game.
you're going to make plays in key situations in that game or critical points, and you've got to make those plays. Those, even if it was a tight game or whatever, for how many years from 0-1 to whatever, I mean, it wasn't this juggernaut offense for a long time. We won close games for a long time just by making those plays, whether it was on defense, special teams, or offense. This team, for the last 2 years, isn't making those plays, so they don't deserve to win.
That's right. Third down plays are always out.
Third down, yeah.
It's
They get
like-
off track. If they get off track, this offense especially,
Yep.
they are screwed. And it could be like, a penalty. It could be a sack or a negative play. And, they just go down to 3rd and long, and then they throw a 50-50 ball up there. And it's like,
I was
what
thinking.
the hell are we doing here, people?
I was thinking 9 wins. I don't think that's going to happen. That was my initial.
Those were 2 seasons.
Guess.
I don't want to
Yeah.
get down on
Over 2
Hoyer,
seasons.
though. I mean,
By the way, I love Hoyer.
The guy has been in the league for a long time for a reason.
Yep.
He's a good guy. He's a good quarterback. He's a backup. He's a journeyman. He started for a lot of shitty teams.
Yeah. What did
And
we?
I know the media in Boston is just going to rip him apart.
Yeah, they are.
Because
We
they're
did
all
learn-
on that train right now. So give him a chance. The
with you.
season's young. Even if they lost this game and Mac Jones is still out there playing, the media is still going to crush them.
Oh yeah, crush them.
And they're 1 and 2, and whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to see where the season goes. It's early yet.
Let me tell you what we learned about Hoyer, which makes me an immediate fan, bigger fan than I am. Remember what Andrew said about him? when we were with them at the Matt Light shootout about Hoyer?
No, what do you say?
The only guy that has more TB12 stuff than me is Hoyer.
That's right.
He's got all the Brady stuff, all the TB12 stuff.
Oh God, if you imagine that going into the locker room, would you do that if you were a player on that team? And you're a good friend, and your friend just comes out with an apparel brand.
What if you had Copen? You had like Copen pants?
There was Copen, right? Copen is a line of clothing.
Is it really?
Dick's used to sell it. It was I think it was out of Germany.
Oh, we gotta find
it. It was K-O umlaut. It was an umlaut O P-P-E-N.
What's that? The two dots over
the
it?
two dots.
Oh, we gotta find that, Max.
Give
me a sweatshirt right now.
It was some good stuff. It was some really good stuff.
That's funny.
But imagine me coming in as an offensive lineman. I'm doing it to bust his balls. Strictly to bust his balls.
Yeah, see,
Hoyer's not doing it. Hoyer wants to look good.
Yeah, and by the way,
Maybe we should bring him
looks
on.
good. His line looks good.
Should we bring him on?
We should bring him on.
Can we bring him on?
Yes.
Do we have permission?
Call him right now.
Let's bring him on.
Call him right now. We'll get him on. That's a good idea.
Hoyer on.
I'd love to get him on because I'd like to ask him that exact. That's the only question I have for him. How much TB12 and Brady stuff do you have?
And how much
more than me?
How much of a discount did you get? And what's your coupon code?
It's true. Right now, you and I are buying.
Did you get a package?
Coupon code.
Did you get a package? Because I didn't get a package to say, "Hey, we're open for business."
That's not.
You're a good friend. Yeah. I want a package.
We just bought. We didn't use a coupon code for all the what do you call it? Electrolytes. We need to get another coupon code. We need to get a 50 off.
Yeah,
50 off. Maybe we'll put a coupon code out for the Squad Locker stuff for Pop Max.
All right. I'm not willing to give up on this team yet, though.
Okay.
All right. So let's get to you because this is going to take maybe a minute.
This might take 10 minutes. So what day am I at? 30. So let's preface it with this.
No.
I'm at day 36 for 75 hard.
Correct.
By the time people listen to this, I'll be at 38 because I am relentless in my pursuit of excellence.
Yes, you are relentless. I get it. You are just calloused. You're calloused.
It's discipline over motivation.
Okay,
Max.
maybe that's your tattoo.
Discipline over motivation. That fits close to my tattoo.
So last time, just to set the stage, last time you were on a walk
and I collapsed
quarter mile from your house and you collapsed. You felt you were in ketosis because you felt your organ hurting.
And that's a very common feeling for people who go into ketosis where they're like, whoa, my back hurts.
We got it. Right? You don't have to relive your pain that day.
So do you want to take it from there for a minute?
All right. So last week, Friday.
Yep.
I'm on my way into the office.
We had a gym session set up, chest and buys.
On my way in, I get a call from your wife.
Yep.
And she works at the school.
What time is it? Probably 9 a.m.?
Right around there.
Yeah.
She works at the school. The kids are at school. I'm like, I answer the phone immediately because I figured she's at school.
Yeah. That's
why I did it. I was
that's why you're so confused.
My first question was, hey Trey, how you doing? Is this a good call or a bad call? Because I'm thinking it's about the kids.
Yep.
She said, unfortunately, it's a bad call. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Who fell? Who's sick? Where do I have to come get? It doesn't matter. She's like, no, actually, I need you to take Tip to the hospital. I was like, okay, all right. I'll be right there.
You were right down the road. You were coming in. You were right down the road.
So, all right, I'll be right there, and we'll take him to the hospital. Mm-hmm. What's going on? He's like, I don't know.
What'd she say?
I think it was,
I was right there, but I don't remember.
I think it was lower back pains again. Lower back pains.
I think she said stomach because it was a different pain this time. It was the same feeling of pure like just agony, but it was in the stomach. It was towards my side and then towards my stomach. Again, I don't know what the diagnosis is, so I literally am in like, first of all, having a full-fledged panic attack about potentially dying. The most severe pain of my life, and I've been through some different pains. This is by far the most severe pain. And I have that stamp of approval from multiple people that say this is the worst pain that you can go through. Where I was on the floor for probably 30 minutes. I was walking from my kitchen to the den, which is probably a, 20-foot walk. And from the kitchen to the den, I felt like, I got to go to the bathroom. Nope. And I hit the floor on my knees. Bruised my left knee. I got a bruise on my left knee still. Went into the den, laid on the floor, got on my back, was like, this is happening again. My wife was home. She hadn't gone into school yet. Called her. called her because she's in the house. I'm like, it's happening again. I can't breathe. And this was severe. Now, Max, you said you've been through this.
Oh yeah, 2 years ago here.
And it hurts.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you can vouch.
You didn't whine like you did.
Oh, I don't know about that.
There were some swears. And I had to drive myself in though.
Did you really?
Tip,
Wow.
No way
My
Tip could have
wife-
done that.
but-
I went in there probably a half hour later. I was just like, oh my God, you were sweating
Folks,
so much. He was absolutely drenched.
I soaked through close to probably 4 or 5 towels, like to the point where if there was a video of this and you're looking at like my back and I was on my side, it was like somebody just had a hose on top of me. And it was that much water was pouring off. The pain that I was going through was so severe. Like I was grabbing the leather couch.
No normal human could withstand it.
I was grabbing the leather couch and literally squeezing it to the point that like I was like trying to break my fingers. Like I needed some other pain to happen to get it out of my body. I don't know if it was a demon inside of me, something. It was terrible. So anyway, Dan shows up. I'm soaked. It actually backed off a little bit right when you got there. And I was like, God, thank God. Because I was saying to my wife, call it in. Call it in. Call the ambulance. Call the fire department. Call whoever you need to. In the previous week, I had talked to multiple friends of mine, friends who are trainers, friends who are, nutrition, like, guys, girls, like lots of different people. And they're all like, yeah, it's probably like a ptosis thing, whatever. So I wasn't totally sure what it was. Dan gets there, backs off a little bit. And I'm like, we got to go. I jump in the car. He's such a nice guy. We get in the car. He's trying to talk to me about all this different stuff. I don't remember a damn thing. Like I was hurt. I'd started to rip up again. And I'm like, just get me there. Get me there.
Did you have him put the lights and sirens on?
No, but we were cooking pretty good. I only got to go a mile. I'm only a mile from
it's
the
not
hospital.
that far.
So we get down there. He brings me in. Dan checks me in. He gets his laptop out. He's working. He goes out to the car.
Brought you a mask.
Yeah, he brought me a
was
mask.
Like, on the way in, I came in here. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. I think they still have to have masks on and like ambulance.
That was a very good thought.
Medical buildings. And
Yeah,
here's your mask, buddy.
Yeah, the Danbulance over here brought me straight to the door. He goes out to the car and I'm in the waiting room. By the time he goes out to the car,
before I went out though, you started to like twinge a little bit. You started to move around. I'm like, okay, so then I went out.
Yep.
And I walked back in.
I'm on my hands and knees
into the waiting room of the emergency in the hospital. He is in a full out stretch on the floor with just the most wonderful collection of people in there watching you
Johnny
stretch
on yet or no?
and
by the way, I just put on some 5-inch inseam shorts because I was going to ride the bike. I had like nothing on basically.
lime green.
Yeah, lime green. So I'm hurt. I go. I check in. They get me right. I will say, Kent Hospital got me right back there. They got me back there in probably less than 5 minutes.
The guy crying in the
They got
waiting
you
room.
back there, but then they just sit in the hallway for 8 hours. Yeah, great. Thanks for bringing me back, people.
They had all these rooms and beds. They put me in this chair in the hallway for literally 8 hours. So I get in. The second the nurse sees me, she goes, this was her direct quote. She goes, "You look like a kidney stone." That was her quote to me. And she's like, I was like, you think that's what it is? I'm like barely breathing. She's like, 100%. She's like, I can't say that to you, but she goes, I see this 10 times a day. Like, where's the pain? I'm like, kind of was in my low back and it moved over to the front right now. It's right in my stomach. And she's like, yep. She's like, yep, you got a kidney stone. So here's what I'm going to do. Get you an IV. By the way, I was writhing in pain. I'm all tracked out on my arm because they couldn't get the IV in because I was squirming pretty bad. And so they get it in. What'd they give me again for a drug?
Toradol.
Oof.
Good stuff.
By the way, it doesn't last that long, and they said that. It only lasts a couple hours. But now I know why all the football players use it. It's a game. It lasts a game.
No, that lasted to like Tuesday. Because
Did it?
that was injected. We got a little bit more.
You probably got more than me. So I got a little bit. Boom. In. Second I went in, pain relief. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's basically like liquid Advil.
It's it's high power.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hits, boom, feel better. I'm like, oh, God, thank God. Go in, get a CAT scan. Bump. Yep, 5 millimeter ureteral stone all the way down. It's by the bladder. They say that's great. Should pass easy. I'm like, this is all great news, but I need this thing out of my body immediately.
It's got one more thing to go by.
Yeah, it's got one more thing to go through. And I will say, whenever anybody talks about passing a kidney stone, and I'm sure there's a lot of listeners that go through this, passing a kidney stone really is the part that's in your kidney and like to the bladder. That's passing a kidney stone. That's when you got to go to the hospital. That pain is nuts. The rest of it is kind of just, oh yeah, once it hits the bladder, boom, you just let it rip. And like, I don't even know, did it come out? Who knows? Like, I think so. I know this. My back feels better. You're laughing. What are you going to say?
Thinking about the two ways.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was a couple misdirections on a couple things. But
something was blocking it.
Yeah, I will say, now, here's the problem, and I've learned this. 10% of people have kidney stones. This is the kidney stone episode, Max. Then followed up by Tyler at StemFuse.
Yes.
10% of people have them. Here's the stat that really concerns me, though. If you have had one, you are 50% more likely to have one again.
Yes.
Yep.
So now I'm literally, I feel like I'm a walking time bomb. Every second of my existence, I'm thinking about it in my head. I can't clear my brain. Can I clear my brain, Max? You've had one.
Yeah, I'll give you tips.
When you feel that pain again,
I'm going to know what
it's probably a kidney stone.
That's what sucks. And that pain, all I can think about is, okay, I'm going to TF Green Airport. I got to fly to Arizona. Going to play golf out there. I get up. We literally lift off, and I'm like, oh, jeez. What do they have on board to help me? What do they have on board? Do they have something on board to help me? So, like, my first thing, I messaged my doctor on my chart. You get your eye chart things or whatever, the medical chart things. And there's a messenger service. So I messaged my doctor. I'm like, hey, had a kidney stone, as you can probably see in my like record thing. Good, but panicked about when another one may happen. What type of thing can you give me so that when it happens, I can just inject myself?
Or maybe don't do 75 hard.
No, that's not it. That's not it. So I will tell you.
The guy went from the hospital and did a workout.
I know, I saw.
So here, this is where we're getting to. Folks, you want to talk about discipline over motivation? I'm in the middle of this thing right now. 75 hard. There's a lot of tasks that you have to knock off the list.
Pass the kidney stone?
8.5 hours in the hospital. I still knocked off my list that day. I went home, worked out, rode the bike for 45 minutes at 11 o'clock at night, pounded out a ride, and said, you're not going to defeat me, kidney stones. You're not going to defeat me. That's what I said. Do you like that, Max?
I do.
That's perfect. Let's get to Tyler.
Bye. You want the intro?
Yeah, you want?
Okay, all right. Okay.
What doesn't matter?
I know what I'm going to say, though. I'm going to say episode.
No,
Remember
don't.
We used to get really nervous about this?
Well, I can do it.
I'll do it. Okay, you ready?
I think you're just going to mess
Tyler
up the last
Tatge.
name.
Okay, all right. I'm ready. We're recording, right?
Yep.
Okay, our guest this week, Tyler
Why
Tatge.
do you hold on. We could just go and now joining.
Okay, I'll do it. All right. Okay. Let me.
Okay, take a deep breath.
Okay. Now joining. Leave this in, Max, because we can't figure this out. Tyler Tatge.
Yeah.
Tyler's with StemFuse. I said his name right. That's the most incredible part about the interview so far, because it is not how you spell it. Like, it should be Tachee. Correct? It's not. It's T-A.
Yeah, Tyler's just sitting there like, I don't care
GTE.
how it should be spelled. It's pronounced another
People
way.
say yours. People mess yours up a
I
lot.
get that
too,
a
though.
lot.
You get caught.
Did we? Yeah, I get
You get-
copping a lot. Well, technically, if it's Copen, it should probably be spelled Copen, right?
That's
two,
right.
The two consonants
That's right.
after a vowel make that vowel short, right? So
I don't know.
Like a short, right?
I'm not. I'm unsure.
I mean, let's ask Tyler because he's involved in academics and creating curriculum.
That's true.
So maybe,
He might know.
like, I mean, I don't know if English is your major, but yeah, if there's two consonants after a vowel, that becomes
a short sound.
short sound, which is an O is a I don't know.
And
Tyler,
that's phonetics with Dan.
Yeah,
Right.
did you expect the conversation
If
to start
there's one
there
consonant
today?
after a vowel, then it becomes long.
Okay. I agree with you. Does that sound right to you, Tyler, at least? Or
I think Dan's onto something there. It sounds right.
See, there you go.
All right, good. So STEM Fuse, a partner with Squad Locker. We're just really kicking it off. We've done a lot of work to kind of get to where we are. You guys are really involved in the school space, and that's part of what we do, right? Our big things are, as people hear us say a bunch, youth sports, schools, and then corporations. Our three big kind of verticals. Schools is a big one, though. And we look at partners that are involved heavily in a lot of different things. And one thing that we really look at is kind of inclusion across the board. So it's not just, and we love football, and we love baseball, and we love hockey, and we love the big sports, but it's not just those sports that we care about here. We look at a school that might have, I'm looking at something out in the hall that says BC High. BC High for us has 85 clubs at their high school, right? I mean, there's Latin club, there's this club, there's a travel club, there's all kinds of stuff, film club. So with you guys, you're different and diverse in the group, and you're an educational platform. But the big thing that I'm familiar with, at least with this partnership too, is like the e-gaming and the gaming space, which is, I don't know, how long has it taken the world by storm? What would you say?
E-gaming?
Yeah, gaming in general.
Gaming, I was playing games, but
Well,
I think it's different. A different
You weren't in your-
gaming. I think gaming means a different thing, Tyler. So why doesn't Tyler?
Let's have Tyler take it.
And let us know what STEM Fuse is generally, and then we can get into e-gaming and just define what e-gaming is.
Yeah, perfect. Well, first off, thanks for having me, fellas. My name is Tyler Tatge. STEM Fuse as a company, what we do is we develop STEM and CT curriculum. So think of your elective type courses taught at a middle school or high school level. When we talk about curriculum and digital curriculum, really what we provide is all of the resources that a school would need to teach a course. Our goal as a company is to prepare students for successful careers relating to STEM industries, which are science, technology, engineering, mathematics. My role
I'm so glad I am so glad he said that, because I was going to be like, okay, let's go all the way back here. What's STEM?
That's what that means?
I didn't know what it meant. I did not know.
Wait, say it again.
Now
Science,
it makes sense.
technology, engineering,
and math.
That's what STEM means?
I did not know that.
Never knew that. By the way, all things that I'm
So basically,
do not excel at.
This was it? How long has this been around?
Our company was founded in 2009.
Okay, what about STEM?
STEM, the acronym was probably...
Because I don't remember STEM.
I don't remember STEM.
No. It's so, yeah, exactly. So even when I was in school, I'm 30 years old. So when I was in school, we didn't even have these types of programs. STEM wasn't a thing yet. The CTE, which is career and technical education, wasn't a thing yet. We just called them elective courses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. CT is not what I think
And
of.
STEM Fuse is, I want to say almost it was probably like a technology or vocational school maybe, but you are in traditional schools, probably technical, K through 12, right? And how did you get?
Exactly.
You're 30 years old now. You're developing the whole curriculum.
By the way, 15,000 schools.
Yeah,
It's a lot of schools. Yeah.
Yeah, so every school across the country in one shape or another is targeting or looking for this type of curriculum. So what STEM Fuse does is we develop that curriculum. We work with industry to make sure what we're teaching our students at the middle school, high school level aligns to what roles or positions those students would need to get into, right? So we're working with industry to create this content around computer science, engineering, game development, esports being the area of topic today, right? But making sure these students have the skills, understanding of the software, the concepts, and their next steps to be successful after high school.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. You know who this reminds me of a little bit is Josh Mickey. Remember Josh Mickey, our guest?
Yeah.
He, not Tyler in general, but he's in that industry of education at the vocational and what do you call it? What do you call it when you go to the 2-year school? Trade schools.
Trade school.
That's like a big part of his job, the trade school side. This doesn't relate entirely to that, but it's like, but at the same time, those jobs, and I keep on reading things about this. It's like people that go to school for those type of jobs.
Oh, I love where
it is so important.
I love where this is going.
You do.
Oh, I do.
Because it's the most important thing right now ever. And like we've always been like, no, you got to go for 4 years and you got to get a degree that means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and study all these different things and you have no idea what you want to do at the end.
Or you could go for 2 years, be an electrician, own a company, and be like a monster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And all need those people. Right now, I don't have power in my garage still.
Don't know. Now
It's been a year and a half.
Damn landscape company.
It's unbelievable. So, I know there was a little bit of a tangent of this, but I'm assuming the people who are good at the sciences and the technology and the engineering and the mathematics, a bunch of them probably go into that type of space too. You don't need to go, you're not going to just engineering school and Michigan, I know, is a big engineering school.
The placement afterwards has to be incredible.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
So how did you get into this field? Like, where'd you go to school? What'd you study? Was it just basically computers and coding and education? Yeah. And then how'd you get to STEM fields?
Hold on, hang on. It would be amazing if he said, I dropped out of high school.
That would be great. That would be perfect. It's like we're talking to Bill Gates or something like that.
We're ready. We're ready for it, though.
Yeah, no. So I grew up in central Minnesota. Completed high school there, Tip.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
But,
so did Tip.
My father actually started the company right when I graduated high school. So I went to college. I wanted to go for business management. So I got my AA degree. So 2 years in, and he offered me a job. So I dropped out of college or wrapped up my college career, went right into regional sales director for the company. Grew then to growing our sales team, leading it to a national. Kind of my position, become a national sales representative. And then now over the last 10 years or so, done a number of different things for the company, but now my real title is director of esports. So I lead our esports curriculum, partnerships, and marketing plans to schools.
Got it. So this takes me to another conversation that we had before we go to that, because I want to hit that.
I was just going to say, can you tell he's 30 years old? Look at his walls. There's nothing on his walls.
Nothing on the wall.
Absolutely nothing on his walls.
Do you have a George Foreman grill beside you?
Yeah.
Do you have a George Foreman grill beside you? No, here's what I'm thinking. So we had a conversation during the fantasy football draft. Remember, I can't remember, it was Paul. Somebody was like, hey, college, I'd rather just almost figure out a way, take the money that I would have invested in college for my kid and invest it in a company and just give them the company. Yes. Remember we were talking about that?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if it was going to be $250,000 for them to go to school, it's like, hey, here's your down payment for you to have a X company. I'll help you do it. We'll go. And then all of a sudden you're running something, right? Early. That's almost that path. You went to school for it. And then you were like, hey, listen, I understand this enough. I'm getting my business degree, or your whatever it is, associate's degree, and you're like, I've got this from here. You don't need anything else. You're ready to go. Would you agree?
Exactly. I thought, yeah, for sure. I thought, hey, let's cut the 2 years off and let's go get real world experience here. And
that's right.
My dad was nice enough to give me the chance to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to take another semester of astronomy.
There you go.
I think it's both.
Is that two classes, Max?
I don't know if there's astrology classes.
Might have both.
Astronomy?
I think astrology, isn't that like your horoscope?
Real quick on that. Astronomy. We had the same tests like 12 years in a row, and the people would just hand the folder to the next class that came in, and they're like, these are all the tests. They've been the same forever. So, A, obviously. Is that
in astrology or astronomy?
Astronomy, I think. Astrology is the
astrology is like the
Capricorn and stuff like that. Oh, Max, what are you doing? You Googling? We can't see him.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us esports now, okay? Because this is where I have questions.
This is big.
Right. I have questions on this. I'm 38. We did not have esports when I was in high school, obviously. People played video games, but it wasn't like something that you were a part of and you were a team and it was like recognized by your school. The school that our kids go to now, Dan and I both have kids at a school, they've had esports team for, I think, like 5 or 6 years now. They were probably early in this space, maybe about 5 years. They literally set up computers and stuff like in a room, and they bring in snacks and food, and they have like game. They do.
They really work up an appetite.
They do. They bring in snacks and food, and they have and sometimes it's like a weekend thing. It's like a long part.
Sure.
So take us through. You're a director of esports at a curriculum thing for schools in the country. How big is this getting? Is this something that's all over the place right now?
Yeah, so the last numbers that I looked at, 20% of high schools across the country have an esports team. So it's still relatively new in terms of adoption and getting started here. If your school has it for 5 years, you got to be one of the first in the country.
Yeah.
I know probably 7-8 years ago is when this kind of started getting going here. But in the scholastic space, really it picked up during the pandemic, and you'll see that or you'll see that across the entire industry with viewership for gaming, streaming of the professional or collegiate spaces, adoption of teams at the high school spaces. Because esports, if you think about it, can be competed. You mentioned the competitions right at your school or at a location, but it really esports doesn't require that. It can be competed anywhere across the country at any time. So when schools couldn't offer traditional sports, they turned to how else can we engage our students outside of the school day, right? And how can we provide some additional activities during this time of shutdown? And that's really what kind of triggered this growth or expansion of esports in this classic space.
I would imagine the startup. Yeah, you said adoption rate's like 20% right now. It's probably 100% of the kids are probably gaming at some level.
Oh, they're doing something.
Or would do that or would be interested in do that. I would imagine like the money to get that school up and running with the computers, monitors, have you, software. Excuse me.
Do you think it's a lot?
I would assume that's probably, one of the biggest, drawbacks or, the ones from just, hey, let's just launch it.
Or do people bring their own stuff, right? Like, how's that work?
Yeah, so Dan, good point there in terms of the challenges. So what I set out to do when I kind of got into this space is I wanted to learn how can STEMfuse help schools get started. So I had to do a ton of research myself. I wasn't too familiar with the space 3-4 years ago. So the hurdles are what you just mentioned, right? It's the technology costs, it's experience. A lot of schools or administrators at these school districts have no idea how to get started, right? So what we set out to do is, one, help schools identify what they need to get started. And the first thing is identifying that technology. And it's amazing because a lot of their existing computer labs with their 5-year-old PCs and their school's Wi-Fi, they can run esports competitions on those. However, a lot of people like you, Dan, think, we need the high-end devices and the high-end technology, right? That's not necessarily the case for esports competitions.
All right. All right. So you just need a good connection.
You need a
halfway decent computer, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you need a halfway decent computer, and you're good to go. Yep.
You need to bump up,
and then they need to call STEMfuse to help them get this thing launched.
Educate them on how to do it.
Yeah,
right. Like all the way.
So do you develop? So you work with the high schools on how to get it launched, or you're developing aside from the curriculum how do you say that?
Curriculum.
Curriculum.
Spell it. Hang on, Tyler.
Are there any consonants?
All right.
Spell it. Pull it up, Max, because I don't know how to spell it.
Curriculum. CIRR.
No. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's right.
CURRICULUM.
Yes.
Damn it.
Nailed it.
No, you got it. Okay,
no, I know, but the first time I said it messed up.
CI.
So you develop academic curriculum. For other things, you also help them get this esports launched. Now this word's got me all over the place. Curriculum.
It's okay. You've got it.
I see. I just it seems like a win-win for this company.
Yeah, and then how many athletes? Are we calling them athletes?
Are you setting up like tournaments and stuff too, or is it just basically on the education side?
Yeah, so what I wanted to go to market with is I needed to build an ecosystem out that would help me provide a school district with everything they would need to get started, right? So Squad Locker obviously fits in with the jersey side of things, but when it comes down to the competition or league side of things, I needed to find a league partner out there that we could guide our schools to that wanted to compete, right? So in terms of leagues around esports, it's the Wild West right now.
Yep.
It's not like traditional sports in which schools are competing against their neighboring school districts, right? Like your high school or middle school, like you're used to in basketball or football. The schools are competing against schools across the country in some instances. So providing those schools with the resources that they could log into our platform, have access to everything they would need, from competitions to jerseys to fundraising opportunities to the technology requirements required for them to get started, coaching assistance, all of that is what we provide to schools as they are interested in getting started with esports.
So I'm trying to figure this out. Do we use the term, is gamers an okay term? Do we call them gamers?
Yeah.
Gamers is the term. Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure.
Did you think you offended somebody or something?
I don't know. I don't know what the term is. Gamers.
never know.
Okay, gamers is the term. So how many gamers traditionally are at a school that like actually want to, again, like Dan said, probably all of them are playing some sort of thing like at home, Madden or whatever else. But how many traditionally like participate on this team at a school? Is it 2, 20?
Yeah, so 90% of students ages 8 through 18 are currently playing video games, right? Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about the structuring of these teams at the schools, it really depends on what game or league they're competing in. For example, we're all familiar with Madden, right?
Yep.
The video game Madden, where that's a one-person game, so one student competing against another student. Mm-hmm. Where Rocket League, which is another very popular game in the scholastic space, it's like bumper cars and soccer combined. That's a 3v3. So you'd have your 3 starters, if you will, on the team for your school competing against 3 other students or gamers at another school. So it really depends on the games and the leagues that these schools are offering to their students.
Who decides to bring in like a sub in that? Like, hey, you're not bumping the ball and
my wrist hurts.
Yeah.
I've got an injury.
Or just this person just like their eyes that day like aren't there like, man, I can't focus today. And you're like get Fairchild out of there.
That's the coach. I need a sub. Bring in the lefty.
I guess that's how it works. So
were you a big gamer growing up?
Yeah, that's my next question. Is it or
what's your favorite game?
Now, well, are you a gamer now too? You're still like a kid.
Of course he is. He has no pictures on his wall.
Yeah, there's a huge setup beside him.
Yeah, so growing up, I was definitely more into the traditional sports, but certainly played video games growing up. Call of Duty, Madden, NCAA football were my favorites growing up, and then now still definitely play games here or there when I get a chance.
Okay, those are very traditional games. I would have assumed that you were going to say ones that we don't know about, like Legion of Doom or something, or I don't know the games. Zelda. Or like New Age Zelda, or like I can't think of any new games because I don't know any, like Sim City or something.
I mean, the first like not multiplayer, but
Duck Hunt.
Great game.
Duck
like
Hunt's
a Call
great.
of Duty or something like that. Remember, was it 007 Golden Gun?
Oh God, that was a great game.
Was it?
Golden
That was on.
It was GoldenEye for 64, right?
That was on N64.
It was N64.
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
Obviously,
have one?
like a 64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you growing up, what
With the
did
first
you have
one,
all of them?
the first one I think was Nintendo. Well, I mean, Atari and Coleco or whatever.
Yo, you had them all?
I did not.
You did not. Okay.
Nintendo. I asked for it for Christmas. Me and my brother, I think, asked for a Nintendo one year. I was definitely older than 7 because I lived in Pennsylvania. That's the only thing we wanted from Santa.
Just that's it.
Santa didn't bring it. We were distraught. I'm telling you, like distraught. So we went out the next day, and my parents bought it for us. They were like, "That was just dumb. We were trying to teach you a lesson." Like,
no, Santa.
You don't always
they told Santa that.
It was like a combined gift too. It wasn't like we were both like wanting something. And they're like, "Yeah, we messed up."
That's
so
tough.
They went out and got it.
That's tough.
But karate or kung fu?
I didn't. My first PlayStation, my first gaming system wasn't until I went to college. I had a PS2. I didn't have them in the house growing up. It wasn't like, I don't know if it was like a rule. I still played them. I still went and played NFL Blitz all the time with my buddies. That was a big one. I'm about to blow your mind right now if you don't know this fact. And for all the listeners out there, all the primers, get ready, everybody. And if you have this system, you will do this the second that I say this. Duck Hunt. Are you familiar with this? So
I'm not.
The game Duck Hunt,
on Nintendo
has the gun, and you shoot the birds that go up. Obviously, everybody's familiar with that. Guess what? Controller 2 does.
Oh, it does the birds.
Controls the birds.
It does the birds. I never knew that.
Nobody in the world knows that.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So like the other person could be sitting there flying the birds around. Nobody ever knew that. Max is awestruck over here. Are you beside yourself?
I'm gonna go home and try to find a.
Isn't that wild?
Retro.
Did you ever play Contra?
No.
All right. So do you know the cheat code for Contra?
No. I don't even know the game.
It's like infinite lives. It's up, down, left, right. BA, select start, or AB, select start.
You know that still.
Yes.
You remember it.
Yeah. I put it in so many times.
Oh, there's so many things that come up when you do this. Like the first game I ever played was Excite Bike. Remember Excite Bike?
Love it.
Press it. A was like the gas, and then you hit it, and you had to hit the bumps the right way.
I like the fact that, Mario Kart now for whatever the hell Nintendo is,
Switch,
right? Switch has an Excite Bike track for Mario Kart.
I don't know that one.
It's one of my favorites.
You're actually more into gaming than I thought. Okay, great.
I like games. I don't play anymore. But
I haven't played. I've had an Xbox in my den for since we bought the house.
Might not even work.
I don't know if it does or not. The only thing we ever used it for was a DVD player. Now nobody uses DVDs anyway, so it's just sitting there though. It looks good, and it's the white one, the old like white Xbox. You know, you got to stand up, and do all that. Taking space now. Dust collector. I would say that my last time like gaming a lot was probably Guitar Hero. No, Rock Band. Thank you. Rock Band. During spring training.
It's the same thing.
Isn't it the same thing? Oh, it's just a different brand.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Spring training, we used to do this literally the second we got back from like the field.
What
you just go to the pool,
what you do.
get tan. As soon as it got dark out, inside, eat, and then all of a sudden just Rock Band broke out everywhere.
Were you lead vocals?
I usually was drummer, and then I would do vocals sometimes. And I will tell you who's a weapon. Jose Altuve was one of the best Rock Band players in the Astros camp. Like, and he was 17 at the time. He was phenomenal. There was some great guitar
real
players.
prodigy.
Expert like level guitar stuff. Crazy. Like that's hard to do. The drumming, I always just drum. I'm not a drummer at all, but in the car. I keep beat, I'm a little bit musical, and I just really like that. It was fun. That's the last time I really gamed.
Expert level guitar, and I mean, sure, Tyler's seen some of these kids on like a keyboard or whatever, or a joystick.
Wild.
Insane how fast their hands move.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
And Tyler, so
enough about us.
Enough about us. Bring us back to though what games they're playing now, because again, like so. Would there be like a Madden?
It's not just educational. It's regular games that you guys are setting up, regular tournaments for these popular games.
Yeah. So esports are being like the games in the scholastic space. There's a lot of pushback against your traditional like first person shooters, right? So Call of Duty, those games are usually not something that those schools would be competing in to the violence and things like that. But like Madden, Rocket League, I mentioned League of Legends. Those are some of the top titles that are being competed across the country. But it's your traditional games that are being sold in stores, and that's kids are playing right now. Yep.
Okay, that's a good point. That takes me to sold in stores. That's like games. Are there games now? And this is like no, this is true. This is like true.
It's just sold in store. That's
can I just log into my computer on like a web browser and play a game? Like, isn't that how Fortnite was or something? Wasn't Fortnite like free or something? Like, can Dan and I right now? We go back. We've got dual monitor setups right now. Can we start a Rocket League team?
Yes, you can. It's free.
It's free.
It's free.
Uh-oh. Yep.
We're gonna do this right when we get back to the desk. Just to try. Now, can we play against somebody can we just practice, or are we going to we have to set a team up? And I mean, he be on his computer and I'm on mine? That's how it works?
Exactly right. Yeah. You
just got to go through STEM
right in your system.
Okay, we're going to do this as soon as we go back. We're going to do this when we get back.
By the way, we can make uniforms and stuff too.
We can. Yeah, we can. What I don't understand though is, how is anybody making money on this? Not you guys. I'm saying the games in general. How does a free game that you've got the whole country playing, right? And you've got 15,000 schools with 10 kids at each one of these schools playing these games. But by the way, that's just 10 that participate on the team. They all go home and do it, right? How are they monetizing that? Do you know?
Yes. So the esports industry, right? Let's talk about that for a second. So when we're talking about the professional organizations, right? Those are teams in professional or sanctioned leagues. The third. Let me rephrase this. All right, I want you guys actually to guess, what is the third most popular sport in terms of viewership in North America right now?
Third one?
Baseball.
No.
Yep.
No. Is that right? I was going to say no. Third most popular sport.
Drone racing.
Viewership.
Drone racing.
Viewership. I'm going to go basketball.
It is the LCS, League Championship Series, League of Legends.
Okay. What is that?
That's how they're making money.
Where are they watching
League of Legends? League of Legends is a game?
Is a game, yep. So created by Riot Games, and the league, Riot Run League, professional league is called LCS, League Championship Series. It's the third most popular in terms of viewership in the United States. So they're making their money through sponsorships and through engagement with their audience.
Advertising. What about, didn't they, did Fortnite sell out Ash Arena or something like that? What was it? It's in Long Island there, right? Where they have the U.S. Open from tennis?
Oh, Arthur Ashe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also like Billie Jean King or something.
Yeah, they have two big
It's two.
stadiums. Yeah, that they can close.
Ash King Arena
Is that what
or
they
whatever.
did? Is that what they...
I think they sold it out twice. I think it's this might be the third year, or last summer was the second year or something. But I think they sell that place out for Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean they're selling these large stadiums out for a variety of different games. Fortnite obviously being a very popular one as well, but League of Legends, Fortnite, Call of Duty, they're selling out these stadiums to traditional like ticket sales, right? People are paying to go and attend and watch these games being competed directly on the field, if you will, where the teams are competing against each other in the same location.
And
it's crazy.
It does make sense because it's not underground. It's not like an underground thing anymore, as we always know, even though it feels like this underground thing, right? Like all these gaming things. But when you're in spring training and you're playing Call of Duty, and this is before it was real multiplayer, like you passed the remote around the room and the other guy would play until he died. And then the other guy would play until he died. And like you're sitting there watching the guy play. That was in 2007. No, I was doing that 6.
Oh yeah.
You know, so like
I've been doing that since '93.
Exactly. Like, you know, like if you're playing with your buddy and there's a couple other people there, like you're not off doing something else when they're playing NHL '94. It's a great game, by the way. Remember Blades of Steel?
Oh,
wasn't that
phenomenal?
Yeah. So like you weren't going somewhere else and doing it. You were watching them play. So now they're just figured out they can sell a stadium doing that with like really good competition, right?
Exactly.
So with these, with this e-gaming space, like in schools, is this something that kids can get a scholarship for and go to college? Is that is that happening?
Yeah, there's over 200 college teams out there offering scholarships for the competitive gamer or the athlete. Yep.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild,
awesome.
right? And
well,
so
I mean, technology is what it is, and it's just going to get better in the future. So, sort of makes sense.
It's leading me to this next part, and this is a part that I want to talk about in this call, where you have these huge initiatives from the major sports organizations. NFL with NFL Play 60, right? Isn't that their initiative to get outside and play?
Play 60.
Yep.
Baseball has one too. I think it's like
Play 61.
I think it's like Play 63.
we got you beat by one.
No,
minute.
I think it is like Play 365 or something like that. You know, like it is like, so you have all these initiatives to go outside and play. This is the opposite of that, right? This is like, I can picture like a mom or a dad being like, you've been on that game all day today. Like, get off of that game, right? Like, that's my generation, though, and yours too, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And maybe even yours, Tyler. Like, there might even be, still your space where get off that game. Now it's like, no, like you're actually bettering yourself, I guess. Like, you're becoming great at it, just like if you're outside shooting free throws in the yard, I guess. It's tough to say that out loud, but
like practice.
It's practice, right? No. It's like, I'd be like, no, mom, like I'm ranked 211th in the world, and if I can get inside of 200, I'm going to school for free. Well, so hang on, relax, right?
I'll let Tyler
answer that, but
that's exactly right. So the third hurdle I mentioned, technology and the thought of the cost of the equipment and then experience with these schools being the two hurdles. But then the third is, how does this benefit students, right? There's a lot of pushback in the community of, hey, I don't want students just gaming all day. We're promoting bad things to our students. So what we do is there's so many benefits to it. Being part of a team in any sport, right? The team aspect, the camaraderie, the communication, the social aspects, leadership, practice, dedication, those types of soft skills that we're building with our students can be applied to traditional or to esports as well. Sure. And then we're helping schools understand that we do need to be promoting exercise. So a lot of these teams they'll go outside and they'll run a mile before they practice, or they'll do some stretching and make sure their posture is solid during their practice or their gaming, right? So it's a combination of, we understand, one, sitting down and being sedentary is not healthy for us. So we need to balance that with some exercise, some activity, but the actual participation in a team environment is beneficial to those students.
Yeah, it's like in the competitions, It's almost like there's like a whistle that blows and like you're playing and you're seated and then, oh no, everybody has to stand now. You got to stand for 15 minutes. It's like Adult Swim, like 15 minutes out of the hour. Like you got to be up, you got to be moving. By the way, while you're gaming, you got to be running in place, jogging in place.
That's practice. That's
right?
practice.
That's practice.
During the regular game, you got to sit down and focus.
Sit down and focus. Yeah, that does make sense because you just, like you said, I didn't even think about this. Like, sitting down, posture, all these things that we just get yelled at work all the time now for. I mean, we have 150 like $3,000 stand-up desks out here, right? And
Yep.
it's for people being up and sitting is the new smoking, right? Like those are all the terms, right? Like that's what everybody says. That must be tough to sell with gaming. You know what I mean? In terms of you're going to be in your chair. So if you're telling them, hey, get out, run a mile, go stretch, do yoga, do whatever. I don't know what exercises would help you game.
Sit on one of those balls.
Sit on one of those balls, those physio balls.
Get some
posture going. That's an important thing. That would be my recommendation. If my girls were going to do this.
It's all relative, too. It's like you have kids. Obviously, Tyler doesn't yet.
He might
do
have.
Do you have kids yet?
No, I don't.
All right.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, you want your kids to follow what they're passionate in, and if you see it's that technology road or the gaming road, you're gonna push them that way. But it's not to overdo it and to get outside and get some exercise. But the part about being a part of a team and it's hard to do that probably in technology. So to understand that and to get that out of that is a pretty cool deal.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, and what schools are noticing is that when they're offering these esports teams to their student population, well, obviously, I mentioned earlier, 90% of their population is currently playing video games, right? So they're going home and doing it. Mm-hmm. So schools are offering it now, and they're hitting students that have never participated in out of school activities, whether it's traditional sports or the other activities that are offered. These students are brand new in terms of their time spent after traditional school hours, which allows schools to raise their inclusivity, to help these students that are not interacting with them, not interacting with others outside of school hours, participate in a team, feel like they're more involved in that school community.
Absolutely.
Got it. I've got something on the uniform side because you started talking about it. And one thing that
there's got to be some outrageous names too. I would think, you've got to have seen some pretty cool esports teams names.
And like handles must be fun. Like I wouldn't want like Tip Fairchild to be my handle. I want to be like
Tip 75 hard,
Night Ninja. You know what I mean?
I'll change your Slack name to Night Ninja.
Like something like that, like something crazy, so what I was thinking though is the uniform side, like with Squad Locker and how we do custom apparel for teams and leagues and clubs and anything. Like it could be esports, e-gaming, it could be football. Like there's a whole bunch of them in between. The part that makes me think that this is something that is that makes sense for the gaming space is every game that I've ever played where I've really liked it. Think about NCAA football. Mm-hmm. Think about Tiger Woods golf, right? Like play that all the time. Part of the thing was creating your character. Right, like NCAA football. If I didn't have the black shield on with my ankles taped up, wristbands on here, like I made myself look awesome in that game all the time. I'd be a 99 on everything, And then in like Tiger Woods, like okay, I'm gonna have my outfit. I got my nice shoes on, my shorts, shirt, hat. But then I've got my like crazy outfit. I got checkered pants on, whatever else. I feel like this uniform side of what we do, kind of is that like pick your player. And like the player's like bouncing up and down, and then you pick the other one, and it's like bouncing up and down.
Gives you an identity.
Yeah. So it's almost like as they're building their esports team, they can also build, I can pick my uniforms. I can pick the things. I can pick how I want to look, which is just part of what they do on screen also.
I would think
I feel like it resonates that way.
And for the professional side, throw some advertising on there too.
Oh yeah, load them up. Load them up on ads.
Let's show your supporters.
Sublimation is the thing for this as it goes further and further, and it's going to take a while to like figure that all out. But I know that if you watch some of this pro stuff, like the sublimated jerseys and everything, that's all they have because it's loaded with ads, right? And they have lots of stuff going on with it, and that's what we're trying to replicate with you guys, and making it so that team that has 12 kids on it can look just like the tennis team or the soccer team or the baseball team or whatever it is, right?
Tyler, I'm going to go off track here, and our producer, super producer Max, has a little note here, and I'm a fan of the show. Why was Game of Thrones Season 8, the final season, a true television disaster? I know it probably could take a while, but I just
it's on your LinkedIn.
I have some of my own thoughts, very very few thoughts, but why was it a disaster?
Well, so Dan, I got to ask you, did you watch it? You
I
said
did.
You're a fan, right?
Yep.
Well, to me, it felt completely rushed.
Okay.
They rushed it. They didn't have a solid ending, and you know what? I think it was because they ran out of material from the books, right? So the directors didn't have the finish or the outline to the finale there.
Did you read the books too?
So they kind of went on their own. I did after the show.
Okay, well, you're one up on me.
Dan's gonna read the books.
I just watched the show.
He's got his thesaurus beside him during the book. He's gonna Google the words.
So big fan. I mean, I agree with you. I was a huge fan of that, and I think I watched it perfectly. My wife didn't want to watch it for all these years, and then 7 seasons went by, and we finally started to watch it. So we binge watched 7 seasons to get ready for the final season. And then watched that as it came out. They did such a good job of building up these characters the whole way, and then it just ended. And I have no idea what the White Walkers are and why they were in there in the first place.
By the way, Tyler, I didn't make it through. I ended in season 3.
You should still watch it. No, that was during the cycling challenge. The miles challenge.
We were riding the Peloton and we were doing a miles challenge, and I used to just turn it on at like 9 o'clock at night and just watch Game of Thrones and ride the bike for like 3.5 hours.
And he lost the challenge, by the way.
And I lost. but I didn't, I don't know, it just didn't capture me the way that I thought it would. And I feel like it should have, because it's like politics and like it's got all that like edge to it. When dragons started like flying around and stuff, and she had like a baby dragon or something.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
I don't know. She was pregnant with a dragon or something.
She's mother of dragons, right?
I know, but it was just kind of strange. It kind of hit me funny.
Don't worry. How do we like House of Dragons?
Just got started on it, so I'm only 1 or 2 episodes in.
Okay.
But so far, so good. Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you, Dan just
Hopefully
finished.
It'll be a better ending.
Let me tell you what has a great season 8. I think it was season 8. Breaking Bad.
Oh, I watched the final season again for the second time.
I know I wish that I hadn't seen that, because the last 4 episodes of that, I was on my hands and knees watching that. Like, this is intense. I need to sit down. Like, this is
2 nights ago. I was up till 3 in the finishing it a second time. Just go to bed. You've seen it.
I'm gonna rewatch that. I think that was a great show.
Have you guys seen Better Call Saul?
Yes. Yeah.
Some of it. I didn't finish it. Yep.
Ooh,
Saul Goodman.
Just as good in my opinion.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All right.
He does action films too. Or action, like like whatever the lawyer for Breaking Bad or whatever. Yeah. He's done some action movies or whatever, and it's kind of like you don't place that character or that guy with that type of movie.
Yeah, I forgot what movie it's called, but he plays like the Liam Neeson type character in an action movie. Yeah.
So it's the same movie we've seen about 25 times.
You know what I didn't? It just hit me. What I didn't like about Game of Thrones. Are there any like really good? I'm a big quote guy and like small clip scene guy. Was there like a good quote in Game of Thrones?
Oh, come on.
Jesus.
Tell me a quote.
Vala Margulis.
I don't know what that means.
All men must die.
I mean, like,
if you're into that,
because now I'm thinking, okay,
good job, Max.
No, I'm thinking about like in Breaking Bad when he's like, "I am the one who knocks." Like, that's a scene right there. When she's like worried that somebody's gonna come to the house and kill him, and he's like,
"You know nothing, Jon
I am
Snow."
the one who knocks. Like, that hits me.
It's been a few years.
There's plenty.
So maybe there are some quotes in there.
I think you should finish it.
Okay, I'll do that for Tyler.
All right, good.
All right. I think we're good. I mean, that was helpful. Like, I think that our normal listeners, right, and normal, people who would listen to our clips, even like on Instagram or anything. By the way, at Past Our Prime Show, you can follow that, Tyler, and push it out to all your friends. Would normally hear us talk about sports, and like this would be something that just happens. This is real, and this is like big.
It's not
and
going.
Like you
it's
said,
not going anywhere.
It might be bigger than we even can comprehend, right? It's the third most watched thing. Nobody listening to this show probably knew that stat. I can tell you that right now. We didn't.
No.
So it's very big. It's a real thing. We see it at Squad Locker. You guys have been doing it since 2009 with different parts of it, right? And then you have 15,000 schools that are jumping on this stuff. So it's a real piece of what's happening, and it's not that people have to accept it. It's just that people should just understand that it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
No,
right?
No, technology is technology, and people are playing games, and you guys are there to help them. So if you got any questions, check out STEM Fuse, and they can guide you along.
You got it. Anything else, Tyler?
No, fellas, I appreciate the time.
We're going to Amazon you a picture or two. We're going to send a couple frames, a couple pictures to put on that wall.
Like a Game of Thrones poster.
You want a
or
jersey?
something like that?
You want us to shoot you a jersey? We need a jersey or something up there.
Send
Give
him
me a jersey.
All right, we'll shoot you a jersey. We need something on there for the next time, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Tyler.
Have a good one.
Talk to you.
Thanks, fellas.
See ya. Bye.
Past Our Prime is brought to you by Squad Locker. Squad Locker is your one-stop shop for custom team apparel, delivered right to your front door. Learn more by visiting squadlocker.com.